Every powerful nation on Earth spends billions of dollars building armies, tanks, fighter jets, nuclear weapons, soldiers trained to defend every border. Because in this world, if you have no army, you are vulnerable. You are weak. You are an easy target. Or so everyone thinks. Because there is one small country on this planet that has absolutely zero military. No army. No navy. No air force. Not a single soldier in uniform. And in over 100 years, not one country has ever dared to attack it. Not once. How is that even possible? The answer will completely change how you think about power. The country is Costa Rica, a small nation in Central America, with just 5 million people. In 1948, Costa Rica did something no country had ever done before, and almost no country has done since. They abolished their entire military permanently by writing it directly into their constitution. But here is where it gets truly fascinating. That is not even the craziest part. Since abolishing their army, Costa Rica has become one of the happiest countries on Earth, one of the most stable, one of the most visited, and one of the most respected nations in the entire world. While their neighbors spent decades fighting wars and military coups, Costa Rica was building schools, building hospitals, building a future. Stay with me. Because what this tiny country figured out that the rest of the world still hasn't is one of the most powerful lessons in modern history. To understand how this happened, we need to go back to 1948. Costa Rica had just emerged from a brief but brutal civil war. 44 days of fighting. Over 2,000 people dead. When the war ended, the leader who emerged victorious was a farmer turned revolutionary named José Figueres Ferrer. Most victorious leaders, after a civil war, do one thing immediately. They build a bigger army. They fortify their power. They make sure nobody can challenge them again. José Figueres Ferrer did the exact opposite. On December 1, 1948, just weeks after winning the war, he walked to the Cuartel Bella Vista, the main military fortress of Costa Rica. He picked up a hammer, and he smashed a hole in the wall of the fortress. Then he handed the keys of the building to the Minister of Education. The military fortress became a museum. The soldiers became teachers. The weapons budget became a school budget. And on November 7, 1949, Costa Rica wrote these words into their constitution. The army as a permanent institution is proscribed, abolished, forever, written into law, never to return. At the time, the world thought it was madness. A small country in a dangerous region, with no military protection whatsoever, surrounded by neighbors who had armies, who had conflicts, who had coups and revolutions. Everyone waited for Costa Rica to be invaded, to be taken over, to collapse without protection. That was 75 years ago. They are still waiting. Here is what happened instead. The money Costa Rica had been spending on its military went directly into education. Within years, Costa Rica had one of the highest literacy rates in all of Latin America. Then the money went into healthcare. Costa Rica built hospitals in every corner of the country. Today, Costa Ricans live longer, on average, than Americans. Let that sink in for a moment. A small country with no army, whose citizens outlive the people of the most powerful military nation on Earth. But the protection question still remains. How has no one attacked them? 3 reasons. First, Costa Rica signed treaties with powerful nations guaranteeing their protection in case of attack. They traded military spending for diplomatic relationships. Second, they declared themselves a neutral country. Like Switzerland, they stay out of conflicts. They take no sides. They make no enemies. Third, and most powerfully, Costa Rica made itself too valuable to attack. They became the most stable democracy in Latin America, the most educated, the most environmentally protected, with 25% of their entire land designated as national parks. Today, over 3 million tourists visit Costa Rica every single year. Attacking Costa Rica would mean attacking a country the entire world loves and respects. No army needed. They built something more powerful than any weapon ever created. They built a reputation the world wanted to protect. 75 years ago, one man smashed a hole in a military fortress with a hammer and changed everything. Today, Costa Rica spends $0 on weapons and uses that money instead on its people. The result? One of the happiest, healthiest, most peaceful nations on this planet. While the rest of the world spends trillions on weapons, Costa Rica spent that money on schools, and nobody dared touch them. Now I want to ask you something. Do you think more countries should follow Costa Rica's example? Or is having no army too dangerous in today's world? Tell me in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this surprised you, wait until you see our next video, where we compare K2 and Everest, and reveal why Pakistan's mountain is actually harder to climb than the tallest peak on Earth. Subscribe so you don't miss it. This is Info Beyond Borders.
Subscribe Info Beyond Borders now for more mind-blowing knowledge.